Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal and I'm really excited because in this video I am joining the Ugly Duckling Challenge. This challenge is hosted by Cory over at Desert DIY. I will list her channel below and link it so you can click on it. Also put a playlist down below of all the other participants joining the challenge. So I hope you enjoyed this video. A group of YouTube creators are to take a super ugly piece of furniture and transform it into something beautiful. As you can see, I have this China Hutch here. It's pretty old, quite possibly an antique. There's a lot of issues with it. It's extremely dirty. It has a lot of loose veneer. The glass is basically popping out. Lots of nicks and dings, and somebody's puppy used it as a chew toy. There's basically a million repairs, little teeny tiny things here and there that are going to need to be done. I started by removing the glass door because I'm going to completely not even use that. I don't think I can repair the little part that is popping out. There's like some sort of water damage or something like that that is causing that not to lay flat. So I'm just going to completely take it out of the whole design aspect of my China Hutch. I'm removing all of the hardware and just basically starting everything for prepping and getting ready to start cleaning. I did clean this extremely well. I do not have any video footage of it, but it was gross. It was so dirty. Here I am repairing the veneer by trying to glue it back down. You can use a syringe and it works really well to get down deep into the veneer versus like how I'm trying to do it here. I do end up running into problems later on where I should have just removed the veneer. It ended up causing me a lot of issues down the road. I started using stripper on my legs and the whole base part because I wanted that to be like bare wood, and I wanted to add a touch of stain to it. Does anybody else hate using stripper? I don't know. I always have the worst time with it. I just loathe it. It's like a sticky hot mess every time I use it, and I don't love it. I wish I would have just skipped this step altogether and just go right to sanding. But I thought this would be easier, and it turns out it was a huge mess for me. I used a couple various things to try and remove the stripper with the finish. I used some steel wool and like a scrubby brush, some wire bristled brushes. It was a huge mess. If anyone has any tips on ways to use stripper, I'd love to know about them because I've always had a hard time with it. I've never really loved using this type of product to remove old finishes. I used mineral spirits to try and clean off the rest of the gooey, gunky mess made from the stripper and to deactivate it. It did work. I got a lot of the finish off. It was just like a huge headache for me. With an 80 grit sandpaper and my orbital sander, I'm just going over all the old finish to kind of scuff it up and to smooth everything down and get a nice even surface. I also took my sander and sanded down the little bottom decorative trim part where the little puppy had used it as its chew tool. So I smoothed that all out so it was level and both sides were symmetrical, so it looked like it had always been that way. During sanding, I noticed that there was some separation between the drawer front and the side of the drawer. So I used some wood glue and a ratchet strap to clamp it down and keep it together while the glue was drying. After that, I took my wood Bondo. Wood filler will work too. I prefer wood Bondo because it dries extremely fast and it's very hard. And I just go through and I am filling any holes and missing veneer on the piece. I'm just continuing and I'm sanding the whole entire piece with my orbital sander and 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm going over the areas that I added the Bondo to smooth all the Bondo out and make everything flat and level. A good scuff sanding is really super important when you're painting. That way you have like a roughed up surface. It will help your paint adhere to the existing finish. It's especially important when you are using paint on like a glossy surface. This surface was just old and it came off super easy, and you can see all the dust that my sander is creating. It's extremely important to wear respiratory protection when you are sanding. Next, I'm just giving it a nice bath with some TSP diluted into warm water. This just cleans up all of the sanding dust and all the dirt and debris. So my next step for painting, I am using a mist tint paint that I picked up at Lowe's. It's just a white. I can't really give you the exact color because it's a mist tint. I'm making my own chalk paint and I'm using plaster of Paris and some water. I pretty much always eyeball this. I don't really have an exact recipe, so I just add some water and some plaster of Paris. Just ensure everything is mixed in really well. Make sure you take extra time. I have had some certain paint brands that will not work with the plaster of Paris and it will start to solidify. And the one that comes to mind right now is Valspar Signature brand. Every time I use that brand with my plaster of Paris additive, it always solidifies. It doesn't work. So this method works with most paints, but that one comes to mind right now as one that does not work. I'm just using a Wooster paintbrush to put my paint on. It's my favorite paintbrush. And then using a foam roller to go over it and smooth out any brush strokes. It took about 1,000,000 coats to get the coverage with white. That's pretty normal. It usually takes a lot of coats. So once I started putting on the paint, this is where I started coming into problems with the area that I had previously glued down my veneer. Ultimately, my solution was to remove that veneer where it was loose and just to Bondo over it and then go back over it and sand the Bondo down and smooth everything out. That was the quickest, easiest way to do it. I did not want to wait longer for my wood glue to dry. I just wanted my 15-minute Bondo and then sand everything down to make it a quick and easy fix. For my legs, my little trim pieces, the decorative areas above and below the drawer, and the shelves, I made a custom stain by mixing two different color stains together. If you are thinking about trying to mix stains to make your own custom color, just remember, if you are mixing them, you can only mix a water-based stain with a water-based stain or an oil-based stain with an oil-based stain. You cannot mix a water and oil-based stain together because simply water and oil do not mix. I had to do a lot of hand sanding on the legs. I'm using my custom stain I made for my shelves on the decorative pieces above and below the drawer and on the legs. I went over the legs with a spray poly to seal in all of my stain and to add some protection. I added a piece of peel and stick wallpaper onto the inside of the drawer to cover up some damage that was at the bottom and just to make it look a little bit nicer. Using an X-Acto blade, I carefully trimmed any excess. The very last thing I did was I used a Miss Lillian's Lackluster Sealant in matte, and I applied that to the shelves with my looster brush to add some protection to them. And that was it. Thanks again so much to Cory at Desert DIY for hosting this challenge. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I could join. And don't forget to check out the playlist of all the amazing YouTube content creators that have joined the challenge and did some amazing pieces. Let's take a look at the before photos of this China Hutch, and then I will show you what it looks like now. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video. And remember, if you enjoyed it, to please like and subscribe, ring my notification bell, share it, talk about it, comment, all the good things. They all help me in the algorithm so other people can see this video as well. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.